There is nothing contemporaneous that I'm aware of that is of great consequence.
The revelation that the American video gamer community was able to play for months with highly classified intelligence documents pilfered from the U.S. government by a 20-something Air National Guardsman has raised a question for our times. How could this happen?
I wonder about his psychological profile and whether he was a loner and whether he was searching for camaraderie on the internet. You know, he had this, what he considered a trusted group of individuals on Discord. I don't think he even knew who was on this network.
The U.S. has become a country of fantastic events that occur almost each week. If there's a sense that some normalizing function isn't working as it should, the answer may be found in a once familiar word: accountability.
Now, I can't say much more while the Justice Department's investigation is ongoing, but we take this very seriously.
As Secretary Austin has stated, the department is taking the issue of this unauthorized disclosure very seriously.
The response from stern-faced security officials never changes. We are monitoring the situation. We have procedures in place.
What the heck is that?
It was no different 2 months ago when a 200-foot-high Chinese spy balloon floated for days across the United States.
We have been, I think, as transparent as we can be.
What we know for sure, based on experience, Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, is that the bureaucracies will wait out the story's brief attention span and let calls for accountability wash out to sea, with February's UFO quite literally.
The object over Lake Huron now lies in what is probably very deep water.
Boom!
To this day, the 9/11 Commission report remains the classic account of bureaucracies that were too distracted, self-absorbed, or siloed to connect the dots in front of their faces. It is hard to forget how in 2018, less than 6 weeks before Nicholas Cruz killed 17 people at a high school in Parkland, Florida, a person close to him called the FBI tip line with information about Cruz's erratic behavior, guns, and troubling media posts. That tip was never forwarded to the agency's Miami office.
There's 3 million folks with clearances right now.
3 million?
3 million. So to the general's point, I agree with him 100% on this. We need to make sure we know who has clearances, why they need it, and to get rid of it.
What intrigues me about this story, because I think it has implications beyond the intelligence brief itself, is how Jack Teixeira and his gamer pals seem to have made no distinction between their fantasy world of war and a real war in which Ukrainians are dying each day.
Yeah, I went to high school with him. I knew of him. Good kid. Not really a whole lot of, I would never have kind of taken him, somebody like that. So it's kind of crazy.
They aren't the only ones unable to distinguish between the world's realities and damaging misconceptions in their heads. Over 2 nights in downtown Chicago last weekend, teenaged mobs rampaged through the streets, smashing cars. The event had been organized on social media. 3 teenagers were shot. Indeed, on any given weekend in Chicago and other cities, young men put a bullet into other young men, oblivious to the reality that a life has been extinguished. The response from local leaders?
I don't justify this behavior, but think about this. Would they be downtown if they had things in their own community?
For many, that generalized elimination of fault has become conventional wisdom, and that is a bigger, more damaging national secret than these documents. In 1940, Walt Disney released the movie Pinocchio, in which one of the characters sang a lyric memorialized by children for a generation. It's no revelation to say that when we began to devalue conscience, blurring a pragmatic understanding of right from wrong, we would be putting at risk a lot of psychologically vulnerable individuals. Jack Teixeira had no idea what he was doing. He has a lot of company. They are the whirlwind that engulfs us now.